really don't have problems with neighborhood Crips like that. We follow valley politics. I pulled the blammer because I was about to knock the niggas down. We run with the JC movement, but we not traitors. That's not what we do.
No, we not traitors.
What year did y'all put the C on it?
It was right after the Perquamas killed Lil Blue.
Welcome and welcome back. S.WigginsTV. It's your host with the most, represent for the West Coast, Worldwide Wiggins. And we doubling, matter of fact, we tripling back, man, because we got the moving gang in this month. We about to get rid of any misconceptions or misinformation about this set, you feel me? And we gonna get it in like that, man. Give it up for the WHITSETT, Gangster Crips. What's the deal, y'all?
Hold God.
Hold on. First things first, can we get a roll call, man? Because I'm here. We got motherfuckers from different states in this motherfucker, man. Look, can we get a roll call?
Yeah.
All right, look. I'm starting. Look. Who is this? Tell me who you are. I got the jazz from WHITSETT. Where you from, though? I'm from Alabama. Who is this?
Oh, that's right.
Big Gangster Jazz. Southwest. Cuz I'm Big B.A. Cuz East Southwest.
I'm Lil KP Ryder, Killer Pone, East Side West.
Thug C, East Side West. Hey, man. Call me AVE, man. Big Avenue, man. You know what I mean? From East Side West, man, / Boston, Mass, man. You know what I mean? 508-617, my 818, man, you know? Big Killer, Moving Gang, 5'9", East Side, Moving Gang, or the own thing. Where you from, though? You from?
He say from New York. We got the New York in there.
Yeah. Far Rockaway.
Okay. We got the set in the building, man. But you know what, man?
Ohio in the building too.
All right, for sure. Cause yeah, man. So it's no need to pretend, man. We gonna keep it 100, bro. Like, you know, some things was said in the last interview, bro. That you know, friction with the Boston WHITSETT, man. So let's clear that up first, man. We want to respect them, man. Is it official, man? Is the Boston homies locked in? Is it cool? What's going on? Can y'all speak on it?
We all here.
Locked in. We just had the biggest 5-9 day, the most epic one we seen. We gonna see you some footage of that too. And the whole purpose of this is to dispel all of those false accusations put forth by discreditable homies with no credentials to even speak like that.
All right, for sure, man. So, all right, with that being said, man, that's what we gonna do. So, let's bring it all the way back, man. What year was WHITSETT founded?
Oh, shit, that'd be 88, the fall semester, first semester of the 88 school year, going into 89. Before Halloween, the majority of us, you know what I'm saying, the older homies was banging before Halloween.
Certain parts of your last interview has truth to it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
And then one thing I do got to clear up, Wiggins, is what the senior said that we was a clique. WHITSETT has never been a clique of anything. It's always been a gang. From the inception, the title was WHITSETT Avenue Gangsters, and we stood on that. Real shit.
All right, for sure. So when you guys started, it's very accurate that you guys was a black rag gang. You ain't put the Crip on it just yet in 88.
No, we black rag gang. Exactly.
Lot of the homies that started this set came from different backgrounds, different parts of LA and like me, one of them too. I came from a different background to where I was more or less grew up Damo affiliated, and my big homie, Big Sid Capone was also Damo affiliated. Then we had a sector of the homies that grew up Crip affiliated through their family origins and things of that nature. And so, in order to bring it all together for the greater cause, and as you can see, they had a beautiful vision to start out Black Rags. And that's the origin of that. That's the core.
Because we was like fuck all Mexicans. We didn't get along with no Mexicans, like none.
And Wiggins, if you remember during that time, it was really the height of the black culture movement with De La Soul and
Yeah.
and a lot of Erica Bombada, a lot of that played a part in the shaping of the mindsets of homies during that era.
Oh yeah, with Public
And
Enemy.
then being in the valley, white boys and Mexicans were not very accepted of blacks that was with the business
in the valley.
Oh, all right. So, what was some of the, if we can, Mexican and Peckerwoods that y'all, was having friction with, as far as cliques go, or gangs?
BVN came later.
BVN came later.
Radford and Violent Boys. Them was the first ones. The Radford and the Violent Boys.
They would come to the school and try to get at all the blacks. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of the factors that made us come together.
Okay.
All right, bet. Having established that y'all started in '88 as a black rag gang, not a clique, what year officially, from the horse's mouth, we got damn near, everybody on here, but what year did y'all put the C on it?
It was right after the Pacoimas killed Lil Blue. We had a meeting, and everybody was like, we putting the C on it. And we were already being accused of being Crips at that time, and we said we going to make it official.
Because a lot of us, again, how we came together, because they didn't really understand it, but a lot of us, like me, my brother, we had Crip backgrounds. My whole family from Front Street, you know what I mean? So we had Crip backgrounds. So, we spent a lot of time in the city too. You know what I mean? I went to Will Rogers Park before it was Ted Watkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So,
yeah, we used to spend our summers in Watts as kids.
Yeah. So we had that background, so we had that influence.
Then a lot. Then when we started going to jail and prison, it was and what that was Crip.
We got classified,
but we had that was that everybody that we was with it in the system was part of the Crip corps. So we was, like I said, we was labeled. It got to the point that it was like, no, y'all is Crips, and no matter how oh no, it's gang, black rag, basically like we ain't trying to hit it. Crips.
And the move against Lil Blue kind of like solidified, major change comes from catalytic events, and so that Lil Blue was such a beloved homie in the set. So when that happened with Lil Blue, that was catalytic for us, and basically anybody that stood against the movement was really standing against Lil Blue, and so it was an overwhelming vote based off the love for Lil Blue.
All right, now I want to expound on something that you guys said earlier. You said straight out, you feel me? The Pacoimas chip Lil Blue. So
yeah,
how did that beef start? Since y'all wasn't officially Lokes before then, like how did the beef with the Pacoimas start then?
It was inevitable, for real. We was both too big for the valley. It was inevitable. Honestly, we was the two biggest things out there at the time. Just like any two gangs that's big and they different, it's just inevitable. There was skirmishes. There was a few skirmishes before I went to the pen at Tommy Burgers and different, and it just surmounted into that happening with Lil Blue, and
so basically, when that happened, there was no turning back. You know what I mean? To us, it was like you fucked up, so let's get it cracking.
Nah, for sure, bro. So now the next question, we gotta ask is, when did y'all put the GC on it? And one, and two, which GC hoods, came over there like, okay, we get with it. We gonna stamp that.
There's no GC hood. We solidified us.
We never
Once we put the Crip on it, we knew what all came with that, and we accepted all of that.
Yeah, we already had the G on it. So when we put the C on it, we didn't seek permission or admission from nobody, and never will.
All right. But you know, because I'm asking, because
So look, so wait.
go ahead.
You know what the homies are saying is, look, we run with the GC movement, but we not trades. That's not what we do.
No, we not
never
trades.
been trades. Ain't never been trades. Do we f with the trades? Absolutely. But can't nobody tell WHITSETT what we gonna do.
All right.
Like, our mindset is different. You know what I'm saying? I'm a valley, and that's what we gonna push.
Yeah, first and foremost, we're gonna go by valley politics over everything.
So just a dead major issue right there. We not trades. We fuck with trades, but we not trades.
All right. Any particular reason, you know, you guys didn't choose to push the trades?
One because we have always been our own trailblazers. We have always had our own entity. We have always carved out our own destiny. And just me personally, knowing my hood, the trade thing has already been copyrighted and solidified and stamped by the trades. And I salute them for the work they put in to establish that trade. But we have to lift our own banner. And you know, our thing is we've always lifted our own banner.
Right.
And if you think about it too like this, sir, the East Side niggas got their own politics, the West Side got their own politics, the Valley got their own. We move the way we move. You know what I'm saying? We with the trades, A trades, pro trades, Altadena blocks, them my because I love all of them. But can't nobody tell. We're a small hood, Kara, but you can't tell us how we move.
We kind of hard-headed that way.
And that's been the key to how long we've survived. And that, you know, we cut different. We don't copy we don't copycat.
You know, there's hoods in LA, you know, that don't fall under GC politics, you know, even though they got GC in their name, for instance.
Right.
And you know,
right.
There's others, you know, Menlo's used to be GCs, but you know,
right.
And at the same time, we remember, you know, shout the boy Kwam, y'all homie Kwam, you know, was on the show and he said something against my brothers from the East Coast, Crips, the First Street. Shouts out to him. But
we don't have no problem with East Coast.
All right, yeah. Well, I wanted to make that clear. Yeah.
We have never had a problem with East Coast. We really don't have problems with neighborhood Crips like that. We follow valley politics. When we run with the LA gangster Crips, anytime we've had conflicts with neighborhoods, it's because we were with their direct enemies. So we understand that shit.
And we
don't take it personal. We know what it is.
And we acknowledge that we gangsters. We in gangsters moving. That's for sure. And so we gonna aid and assist. But to understand the politics of our hood, we're nowhere in proximity towards any neighborhoods. We don't have neighborhoods out there where we at. So it's not that intimate with us as it would be with, like, say, the A-Trades in the 60s and folks who next door to each other like that. So, you know, we have our own intimate beefs with our own proximity hoods that's next to us. That we more focused on our agenda. That the neighborhood gangster beef, we provide aid and assistance to the gangsters moving car when we locked up and on the streets. If we on the streets and they in distress, we gonna provide aid and assistance. But that's not our immediate focus. We got our own agenda based on our own history and personal events that happen between us and the hood that we beef with out here. So our enemies come first. They got the wage they war. We got the wage ours.
All right. With that being said, have you guys ever faced any backlash? You know, I'm pretty sure you done said this before. Like, you know, we don't really beef with neighborhoods like that. You guys ever receive backlash from your GC homies? Like, come on, man, why would you say that? Like, you feel me? We on with them or anything like that?
No, sir. Look, there's no way anybody can give us any backlash.
Look, hey, Wiggins, look, to keep it gangsters. We got a chip on our shoulder. So when it really come down to it, we'll move against anybody. This don't matter to us.
And one thing I want to touch on, Wiggins, I don't mean to talk over you, BA. I done heard several sets say they ain't finna go over here to put in work. They ain't finna go over here. Hey, we going everywhere. We going on the state. We don't give a where you at. We going there. We stay in traffic.
But yeah, no, but go ahead, BA. Go ahead, BA.
I don't care. I don't want to cut you off. But look, if you think about the Valley, you think about Panama City and all that, to keep 100, cuz look, all them niggas know a lot of look, the Valley Fronts, the Venice Shoreline, the Kisses Crips, all them niggas been in the Valley. And they fuck with it for one reason. Because we remind them of them.
Yeah, we've been told we move like a LA hood. We've been told that a lot.
For sure. Okay.
So to answer your question, no, we don't receive any backlash from anybody.
So yeah, why don't we get it from the horse's mouth too? Like, who was like the founders? Like, what hoods was they from? Like, maybe Showlines, Grape Streets.
No, this is me founders for WHITSETT.
Yeah.
No, ain't none of them. So we got my Big Snoop, my Big Sad Capone, my Joker, you know what I mean? My Caper, rest in peace, you know what I mean? Big Fang, Fang's my soldier, you know what I mean? Al Capone, you know what I mean? It's a lot of them solo here.
Yeah, they don't function with us no more.
Big Snoop was just here at the 5-9 yesterday. Big Sad Capone, that's my big homie. I'm Lil KP. Big Sad Capone is my big homie, Big KP. He was just here at the function yesterday. A lot of them homies, they still tap in with us. They still, because the structure is still here.
They still got love for the set, but they're not with the Crippin'.
Yeah, say it like Sad Capone, ain't no Crip. We Crips, cuz ain't no Crip.
But he got love for homies, and like he said, he told us last night. Last night he said we still his family. He understand the direction the turf went in. He don't agree with it, but we family. And if we need him, he always gonna come for his family. But he just a lot of the homies that didn't agree with the direction, they fell back. And we respect that. They still love one. They still respect it.
They still in the ring of honor.
And they still in the ring of honor.
Created something that we love.
For sure. On the last one, Quan was like the top ops, for lack of a better word, was the balling on points. Like, what was y'all interactions? Can you give us some non-incriminating instances, like the rumbles y'all would get in, or
okay, look. We gonna take this. We gonna take this. Look, the people gangster is not even smutting other hoods or all because we don't get along. That's right there with them was like a birthday party. Yeah, them came and went before they was even recognized. You know what I'm saying? There was one incident with the where Quam happened to be there. So I guess that's why he may have spoke on it. But this was never, ever an issue to the homies. Never. There's still homies right now. That's like, what is that? What is DOP? When was we fucking with them? That's how insignificant the issue was. And like right now, you can't go to the Valley and find there talking about I'm DOP. And that's just a 100% fact.
Hey, our biggest war was the dead end, and this was last night.
Oh,
that was
okay.
Our biggest war. Dead end.
All right,
they were our first black enemy. Hey, and they was at the set day.
Now I know y'all Okay, I know y'all cool now, but if you could touch on lightly, you feel me? You know what's going on with the internet these days, on how it started, and how you guys are able to squash it.
You got to remember. So us and the dead ends, man. I'm a keep it gang. That was the biggest war we was in. The dead, but they my niggas though. I love it.
Yeah.
That was that. I love niggas. So don't get it twisted. They helped make us what we are today.
They came out. They came out the gate like, okay, we don't fuck with these because we was the big name on the block. Because there was never there was never an issue or like we ran into them or there was something where we bumped heads somewhere. Them came out the gate the homes. It was
and the turning point, you know, I'm little KP. I was one of the main ones, heavy, and they'll tell you Tiny. You ask Tiny, you ask any of the older ones, they'll tell you that Lil Bob was the main one involved in that. There, before I went to the pen, there was no Quam wasn't around at this time, and so
Quam played. He was not a part of the dead end war.
And so, but I think the turn. Go ahead, B.A.
But he wasn't a part of the BVN. The BVN. He wasn't a part of that war. He wasn't a part of the Leah war. He wasn't a part of none of them wars. He wasn't a part of the OVG war.
And when you talk about dead end, Liggett, Sticks, and BVN, that was me. That was Lil Bob. But what I think the turning point with the dead ends, BA, if you remember when we tried to turn them with it, and at that school, military, and BVN came through shooting us up at the time. Remember? The Cookie got shot and somebody. Yeah, and that was the turning point. That's when Lil Mud came home. That's when that was the turning point. Up until then, it was minor skirmishes, minor high school skirmishes. Until that point right there was the turning point.
You got to remember, the thing about the dead ends though, they was young. They was kids.
Yeah, they was all my age.
But they had burners.
Yeah, I'm younger than the homie, big homie Babe and Jazz, and the dead end they was my age.
But hey, as Wiggins, look, and nigga, for me, I went to prison because when I pulled the blammer because I was about to knock the niggas down. You gotta remember that. But
yeah,
when I thought it was him, it was the police. I was about to knock the niggas down.
But then the homies now, they was here functioning with us, and shout out to Dead End, Gangster Crip. We love it.
Right. Yeah, all due respect, man.
Right here. It was
big devious.
It was a hard pill to swallow when the homies decided to we gonna swap it. Like I said, I was actively involved. I got hit 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I took 3 of them. One in the chest.
Come closer to the microphone, Brody. It's kind of low.
Yeah, I took. Go ahead. I said it was. I was one of the that it was a hard pill to swallow. Seeing how during that war, I got hit 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I took 2 in the stomach, 1 in the chest. But like I said, I'm always gonna be what's best for the set. And at the time, niggas, the shit. It was a whole lot of back and forth. Like I said, I get it there. It is they props. They was gonna do the best that they could against us. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, now they was gangbangers. Tiny and Chinaman and them devious. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with all of them. Like I said, the was at our hood. They was at our 5-9 day. You know what I'm saying? And probably never thought you would see WHITSETT, OVGs, and dead ends functioning like that. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to get this across that us functioning, yeah, them the homies, we cool, we get along. That 3-pack thing, no, WHITSETT ain't a part of that. Because my thing is, we just recently all came together. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, now that 3-pack that came about way too mother quick. Because at the end of the day, to keep it gang, there's from my hood that still be like, why the we with them OVG? And there's OVG that's like, why we with them WHITSETT? Because there's a generation of WHITSETT and there's a generation of OVG that only know the few. They wasn't around back in the day when whenever you see the WHITSETT, you see them OVG. That's how tight we was. These niggas don't remember that. And them niggas ain't trying to hear that. They like, man, all we need is this, they did that here. So that's why I said the 3-pack thing, we can't be a part of that. The little homies is like, look, we gonna fall in line with what y'all say. But they was like, we not trying to be at these functions and like that. So a lot of times if you see us at a function like that or something, it'll be a gang of little homies that ain't see it, not because, you know, as a sign of disrespect, they just like, look, we not gonna fuck up what y'all is doing.
And just to elaborate on what the big homie Jazz says, like Wiggins, we like I said before, we always been our own trendsetters, and we, you know, when you get to putting labels on things, you distort things, and truth be told, honestly, the one homie Kwame you talking about, that the leader of that and all that, does not have the credentials to do that. He didn't participate in none of them wars. He didn't participate in the OVG war, and ain't been a major factor over here. I came home in 2004. I met Kwame in 2004 when I came home. I left in 93. I did not know him. And so I left for gang related. You know, you did.
Yeah.
Down for the Liggett war.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that happened to us.
And so the point I'm making is when I came home, and us and the OVGs and dead ends, this ain't our first time coming together. We had big meetings, 818 days at the park before. The one Jazz talking about where we had to lobby back and forth to get Jazz, and because when we ran into Tiny at Burbank at the Ralph's grocery store by the big homie Jazz house, and that's how the first one came about. We all came together at the park. And you know, came together as one United Valley Corps, but we didn't put labels on it. And what we see now is homies putting labels on it, and that particular homie is trying to use the history and the name of WHITSETT Ave to build his own entity. And that's what's brought us forward today to dispel all that and spew the truth. Because you're not going to get Coca-Cola. You're not going to get this brand.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, well, as far as with me, don't nothing come before the W. You know what I'm saying? So he got a group of little youngsters running around with the key hats and the 3 times, and like I said, it ain't no hit at just pushing them. But my thing is this. You know what I'm saying? I've been from WHITSETT since I was 18. You know what I'm saying? I'll be 55 in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell me today that we gonna do something that we ain't been doing since I was a kid? Since I was in high school till right now, I'm finna be 55. I've been pushing this. So they can't never tell me, oh, we just like I said, I'm not gonna piggyback or jump on somebody else's bandwagon because we done did way too much to solidify ourselves in the prisons, in the street. Anybody that's around in the valley between say 1990 to mother 2010 or whatever, if you was a real street, you was in the valley, you know about WHITSETT. All you gonna say is, man, them WHITSETT was they with the business, and we got so many LA hoods.
WHITSETT Ave got more homies serving life than any other hood in the valley.
Yeah. Damn. All right.